All right, breaking news for you this morning. It's still morning. Nationwide strike by doctors. I mean, how far can these things go? From bad to worse, or what are we getting? Philip, nationwide strike by the doctors.
It's a sad thing to note that the health sector that caters for the health of Nigeria is being neglected to the extent that the medical doctor that are the backbone of the health sector are being neglected, that they are going on strike for reason that their take home are not being given to them. It is very sad that it's in this country that those that are supposed to be, those sectors that are supposed to give it priority are being neglected. So what now happened to the millions of people that are in the hospital looking up to the doctors for medical care? What will that happen to their fate? We are saying that bandits and insecurity is ravaging the land. We are losing life on daily basis. Now, people who were supposed to be saved by medication are still going to face the same problem with people who takes the risk of traveling on Nigerian roads on daily basis. This is sad. But again, these people who are supposed to be responsible in taking care of this health sector, taking care of the medical doctors, we just hear that the minister of the FCT is in abroad for medical trip. So, if he are taking care of the hospitals, the doctors in Nigeria here, won't have been able to be attended to in Nigeria here. So the Nigerian government should, as a matter of urgency, attend to the needs of these medical doctors.
Okay, so let me give you some breakdown, a brief, so that you know that they gave some ample time to the government. Is it among the grievances that the non-payment of the 2025 medical residency training fund is a 5 months arrears from the revised consolidated medical salary structure, as well as outstanding specialist and hazard allowance. Let me read further, because they try to explain why it was urgent for them to go on strike. He said the association said it took the decision after a 6-hour and virtual National Executive Council meeting, noting that the government failed to act despite a 21-day ultimatum. He said issued in July. Now, in the end, an additional 10-day extension and a final 24-hour grace period that elapsed on Thursday. I mean, ample time they gave the government. And you see the reason their demand, they are not actually demand. These are entitlement that they refuse to be paid.
The action is justifiable, and it's a pity the country we are in. We are more of a reactive than being proactive. I'm not holding brief for Ministry of Health, but from this year's budget, what was allocated to health is 2.48 trillion allocated to health. The other day, our president came and told us that they met our targets, our revenue targets, non-oil revenue targets. But let me blow your mind. This year's budget, have we started implementing it? I don't think so. What from this 2.4 billion trillion allocated to health, how much has been given to health sectors? I don't think the money has been released. So, see, until government comes out plain to people, this problem will come down. When people knows the extent of the problem we are in, as I will gradually show you understand where I'm going to. Every contractor that have worked under this year's budget, they have not been paid. But you've come to the world and told the world that we've met our revenue targets, or not our revenue target. So how do you expect Ministry of Health to meet this not even their demand, what is rightfully theirs? The money has not been released. So if you go, most parastatals, most MDAs, they don't have money to fund their offices. I'm not guess talking. I'm telling you what is there. I have jobs there. Most of you go there, they even beg you money for their fueling of their vehicles. And we're telling the world that we've met our revenue target. This year's budget, they're targeting to start funding this year's budget, releasing this year's budget from September. And in two months' time, they'll present another budget for 2026. What country are we in? And now I'm just reading figures, right? From tomorrow, people will start dying. We'll go to the point that we don't care about people's life. There will be so much casualty, and their families will not be involved because they can afford going abroad. They can afford going to private medical facilities. How many of these people on the street can afford going to private medical facilities?
Okay, all right. Let me take it to Philip from there. Philip, there are critical institutions that we have. Health is one. Education is another. Security is another. Good road infrastructure is another. But some of the one that top the list is health and education. We saw in Abuja, for example, school children, elementary, were on strike for months. In Abuja, where the president lives, in Abuja, where the FCT minister lives, in Abuja, where almost all the House legislative arms they live, executive arms they live, everybody turned their eye as if they didn't know that elementary students in school were not going to school. Now we have the health sector being shut down. I don't know any government officials that have their children in public schools. I don't know any government officials that have their, whether it's NHS or whatever it is, in public hospitals. Do you think they will be concerned about this critical institution going on strike?
Well, what the government usually do, and that's what they will do, they will render lip services to this critical issue. Next thing you will hear is that the Minister of Health is having a meeting with the officials of the Resident Doctor Association in an attempt to, to solve the problem. Like he said, we believe in, resolving problems instead of approaching issue proactively so that we can avert this kind of situation. I don't see how the government are going to do anything meaningful because we're talking about resident doctors now. ASU is on the corner saying that the agreement they reached some time ago had not been met, and the government has said saying that the 2009 agreement is obsolete and that they cannot follow it. So those one are waiting there. You see, it shows to you that there's a collapse of system in the whole arrangement. The government of the day, if we say they are incompetent and they are clueless, we are just using understatement. It appears everything is overwhelming them. They don't even know where to start from. This is not the first time we are hearing that resident doctors are striking. Yeah, because this one is nationwide. It will interest you to know that the FCT resident doctors have been on strike for over a week now, and nothing has happened.
And the minister has traveled for medical attention.
So that is the kind of country we are. So what is playing out here? What is playing out here is that lives are being, toyed with. Because what is an hospital without medical doctor? Who will attend to the patient? Who will save lives that are there? We are talking about medical doctor in the health sector. What about the nursing association? Have they been catered for? Like he rightly pointed out, is it because the money has been released and the ministers and those in charge of the hospital refuse to spend the money? Your guess is as good as mine. This is a country where we only represent figures on news conferences and media outfit. We never see the reality on ground. When you claim that you have met your non-oil revenue target for 2025, what's remaining for the year is surplus. We have this
mess.
And what do you see? This is a further step to destroy the health sector in this country. This is a big blow to the health sector. The medical resident doctors striking for their legitimate allowances, for their right. What it's part of the contract you sign with that for them to work here. This is what they will get, And for you to say that for 5 months somebody has not been paid in this kind of economic situation, it's appalling. So we don't expect much from the doctor. The highest they will do, they will call them for a meeting and all of that, and maybe they will call off the strike. I can assure you they will call off the strike without the government meeting their need. We only give them promises, which will still come back to haunt us. As it's happening in the academic sector, it's going to happen here again. It has been happening in this medical sector. This is not the first time. They've been postponing the evil day, and the only thing they will do further is to also shift the goalpost instead of facing the problem head on. I will appeal to the government. It is granted that they can afford to embark on medical vacation and medical trip, but millions of Nigerians here can't afford it. For the sake of the millions of Nigerians who they will use their name to enter into office, whether they voted for them or not, that they claim to be leading, they should, as a matter of fact, attend to the needs of this medical doctor so that this strike will not last more than 12 hours, so that those people who are in the hospital, especially those who are in critical condition, will not be left to die while waiting for doctor attention. We plead with the government to attend to them speedily.
Peter, how insensitive? You see, most of the time it looks as if maybe we don't see any good thing with the government of the day. But we must also highlight and bring to their notice, if peradventure maybe they are not aware, how critical these things are. The lives of the Nigerian populace cannot be played with. That's why they voted for the government of the day. Health is one, education is another, security, we pay for security. Why has the issues of taxation become topmost agenda in just taxing the people and not giving them the dividend of what they pay for, their loyalty, their obligations? This government, because you see, we can't talk about the government that just passed. We can only talk about this one. So we didn't create it, but you campaigned and told us that you will fix this thing. Why are they not looking at this critical area?
If I say they're not looking at it, I'll be lying. One of the major problems we have in this country that we don't resign. As a Minister of Health, a budget was proposed for your sector, about 2.4 trillion, and money has not been released. You know how critical this sector is to Nigeria. And what you do, you sit there and keep quiet. If he had approached these doctors and let the card play to the doctors, this money for these sectors has not come in 2025 budget. Money has not been released to me. Can you give me between now and November when the money will be released? See, full disclosure.
That means what you are saying, they should be engaged.
Yes, now,
not to be ignored.
Just full disclosure. You don't leave people in dark. You don't disregard people. They were disgraced. They were ignored. That's the anger. Complain with them. And the same people you are not paying. They read the same news I'm just reading now that will make our revenue targets. And tomorrow you want to tell Nigerians not to jackpot? No. Do they treat doctors this way? They treating them in Nigeria there? They're reverend. But these people are like after God. It's them. Tomorrow, every other skill level in Nigeria, we want to live in every sector. These monies have to be released to this sector. There's some sectors that are key. Not republishing what they call it, international conference center of 39 billion. Now you make sure that you remove FCT from their joint account stuff and you liberated them. Why don't you liberate some of these key ministries? There are some ministries you cannot play with. Example, health sector, our education sector. We cannot toy with it. And they do this without anything because they don't go to the public hospitals. They don't attend public schools. Most of the kids are not even in Nigeria schooling. That's why they've abandoned the system. That's what they feel. See, when people talk about this government, so a lot of people don't get it. They say because they're talking about government because from this certain ethnic group. No. What they give us most times, it is paper resort. It is not on the street. We've met I'll keep using that word. We met our revenue target, yet our doctors are striking. Yet our lecturers are preparing to go on their own. Every other sector, they are planning to join suits. You mentioned about nurses. They will soon go on strike. But you cannot work under this harsh economic situation and not being paid. How would you get to work? So this government, whoever that will get to them, they are not being sensitive to us. When I mean us, I'm included. Because I just said that my mother-in-law is in the hospital. What is her fate? So it got called across every other person. One way or the other, it will affect us. And these are lives we're talking about. I remember one last time it happened. I saw some videos in Lutz where people were carrying their people. Some needed oxygen. Before you take the person from that place to the gate, because there's no oxygen to sustain the person dies. Because of stupid, reckless decision of government. Something that can be handled. You can ask for vote for this. They told Nigerians you can handle this. They told Nigerians you are aware of our problem, you can fix it. This is almost 3 years. What have you fixed? What have you fixed? With the same old cycle of repeated strikes and shutdown of workplace. What have you fixed? Is it our roads? Is it our education system? Is it our agricultural system? Is it security? What have you fixed except taxing Nigerians? You can't tax yourself away from this trouble. You cannot tax yourself out of this trouble. Provide infrastructures, then they will be gladly pay their taxes. People in the UK, they enjoy paying taxes. But they pay taxes because they see the result of their tax.
Everything is working.
Nigerians will pay tax if everything works. You don't jump the gun. Do the basics, and Nigerians will respond. It is mind blowing. I'm hot here.
Philip, the education sector has suffered as much as the health sector has suffered. But there are other sectors too that have suffered that we look at. The security of our nation. People have been left by themselves to secure themselves. I have stories to tell about my community. I'm sure you too have stories to tell about your community. How can they measure up? And our president is in France having dinner. What is the profit of our president meeting with Macron? Macron has been in power for only God knows how many years. He has never come to Nigeria. Nigeria is not at the center of his international policy, whether economic or social or what otherwise. It's not. What is good for us is to see our elected official stay at home and fix this thing. Now is the health sector. Do you think the president is going to say anything about it?
Definitely the president will say something about it. But the question remains that if he made a pronouncement, will they, take steps to ensure that what he said become his bond? Should we see the reflection of what he will say in the health sector after now? That will be the question on our lips. The president definitely is not going to keep quiet. He's going to make a statement. When he make that statement, will he follow it up with action? That's another thing altogether. You see, yes, you have said it all. You see, what we have seen in the last 12 years in this country is that we have elected people who just want to answer name of president and be in government and just enjoy the office without having any plan for the people. This is a very sad situation, because what we see happen in Nigeria today is that people that were elected into office, they just use that office as a tool to tour the world and look after themselves, especially their health, to the detriment of the entire nation. This is the problem a nation face when you elect people who had collected their boarding pass, according to E.K. Clark of blessed memory. What we have been electing in the past 12 years as president and other office holder are people who have collected their boarding pass. So they are just waiting for for the announcement to be made so that they will board the plane and leave. So they don't have much to do. For instance, if you visit the UK or you visit Ghana, for instance, and your visa is 3 weeks, and when you get to the airport, you said you are going to stay for 7 days, and your return ticket is 7 days, and it's 7 days, and you are in the airport. Your flight time is 4 p.m. and you are in the airport at 10 a.m. Nothing concerns you what happened in Ghana anymore. All you are looking forward to is for you to board your flight and get back home. So this is the situation we have here. Well, like you said in the last edition, you said we're a faith nation. We keep on believing, we keep on praying, we keep on trusting God for better days for the nation. But this is very sad, because the Bible made it clear that faith without work is dead. Our leaders need to get back to work. They need to know that they are there for serious business, and not just to stand in front of televisions and the microphone and just give us fantasies. It's a story that they want to say to please us. We have met our revenue target, non-oil revenue target. Nigeria is now respected globally. Corruption has been eradicated. These are just rhetorics. We should be realistic. We should face the fact we need a president, a leader who feels the pains of the people, who is in touch with the people. What we are experiencing today, we have government that is not in touch with the people, who do not know what is going on. For instance, this strike we are talking about now, the association made it very clear that in July they gave a 21 days ultimatum. When that expired, they gave them a 10-day extension. When that expired, they also gave a 24-hour hours of grace, which expired on Thursday. A serious government, a government that is in touch with the people, a government that knows that things are not going the right way within this period of time. They should have been able to meet with the association and resolve the issue amicably. Like he said, if they are facing challenges, they should have been able to disclose to the leadership of the association that, look, we have these challenges, but we are working towards solving it. Not ignoring these people to the extent that they knock, down tools. Who suffers it? It's the masses. There are thousands of people in the hospital today who would not be able to afford to go to private hospital. I can assure you, Nigeria will lose nothing less than 1% of the people who are in the hospital today because of this reckless action of government. So how do we move forward from this quagmire? It's fall back on the people. The people has the power and they have the will. It is left for them to exercise their power and the will through the ballot. They shouldn't shy away from exercising their right, and they shouldn't shy away from speaking their mind, because you have the right of expression. You must say the way it is until Nigerians begin to speak and say, no, this is not right, we will not go further. You see Nape in Far Asia, they were in this quagmire, but they said enough is enough. They speak out and they take action. Nigerian youth should learn to do things. It is their future that is being destroyed. Like I said, those who are governors in the past 12 years are people who have collected their body pass. If you want to remain somebody who is traveling out and you are looking up to the person to prepare your breakfast, then you wait forever.
Well, it's not any surprise to Nigerians that any sector of the Nigerian economy or sector or structure can go on strike, including universities. We are used to it since in the days that we were in the university. We are used to lecturers going on strike for a whole academic session. Even in primary school, secondary school, we are used to all these things.
What happens to the people that have died? We should to a point. It should be class action.
That's yet to be determined.
When you say class action, when they are unable to pay for the medical doctor they employ, is it the damages they cost to
that they will be able to pay.
For?
If they think about the damages, they won't even fault on the doctors that are employed by the state. Well, another little breaking news: Showore just sent a message and said that he has received a letter from the director of state service or something that he should delete. DSS that he should delete his. You know what they did first was that they wrote X. You know that they should delete his account, and X said we can't just do that. So now they've written Showore as of today, and Showore has also replied them that he will not delete it.
See where your priority lies.
Yeah. There's a quick action to anybody that criticizes, try to gag the media, try to do this, try to do that. You know, not letting people know. They say, but we'll be waiting to see how the actions of the DSS and Showore plays out. Like somebody said, I think very dark man, he said if they start to gag Showore now, that means other voice of dissent is going to follow. I think it's the right time for the government to do what is right. We'll be watching Showore, watching the doctors too, as the Minister of Health called them to a meeting. But it should not get to this stage.
Oh, has the Minister of Health called them for a meeting?
No, he hasn't. No. But we are watching that. They normally fight from the back. All right. It's been breaking news on Landslide Podcast. We'll be right back.